Well, it was about 2008 when we got a group together that was concerned about Tennessee Valley Authority's push for extra nuclear power at the Bellefonte nuclear power plant down in Scottsboro, Alabama. And we had a meeting and we decided that a good way to go would be to join the Blue Ridge Environmental Defense League as a chapter, one of many in the Southeast. And that was about 2008 that we did that. And since then we've had continuing actions, and our mission was to try and promote a groundswell of citizens who would be knowledgeable and could take some direct action or pressure to convince TVA that they should not be building more nuclear power in the Tennessee Valley. Well, the greatest victory, I believe, and we have had more than one, but probably about 2010 or 11, we protested the construction permit that was going to be moving forward with Tennessee Valley Authority to complete the Bellefonte nuclear plants. These are old nuclear plants that were started and then discontinued and had basically been cannibalized for their equipment. And now they wanted to revitalize them. We labeled them zombie reactors. And we had zombies come out of the woodwork to protest at a couple of press conferences, one here in Chattanooga and one in Knoxville, Tennessee. And that caused a lot of attention, and people became aware and really came to the TVA board meeting to protest. And it was quite a show. We had one zombie who was able to get into the board meeting and was summarily taken out, but not until after he had made a small speech. That caused an uproar. TVA had said nobody in any costume could come into the meeting. And ultimately, since then, Bellefonte has been put on the back burner, and it doesn't look too promising that they will ever build anything at Bellefonte nuclear plant other than perhaps, as we might recommend, a solar farm. Since then, we have done some radiation monitoring, and extensive report was put out showing that nuclear power is higher. The counts for radiation emissions are much higher downwind from the Browns Ferry nuclear plant in that area, those 7 counties that surround the nuclear plant. Now, it doesn't mean that those are necessarily all from the nuclear plant, but the rates of cancer are much higher, and the infant mortality is much higher in those areas according to our radiation monitoring. More research needs to be done to show that is coming from the nuclear plant, but that's a good start, a large report. It is online, and people can go to see that at www.matrr.org, because it matters, as we say. And the MATRR stands for Mothers Against Tennessee River Radiation. We named our website that because one of our members was considering whether she would have children or not because of nuclear power in the area, and her fear that would harm them in some way, or that her offspring would have some problems because of nuclear power. The other thing that we're doing now is a Make Radiation Visible campaign. That is the idea that somehow we ought to know, we the public ought to know when radiation emissions are coming from a nuclear plant. Right now, you can smell gas because they put an odor in it. The weatherman talks about your pollen counts, and they can see those, but somehow we don't get to know anything about when radiation is being emitted from our nuclear power plants, and indeed it is every day. Into the air and into the water, some amount of radiation is permitted. And we, the public, have a right to know about that. And so we are launching this Make Radiation Visible campaign. When you talk about turning points, I would say that the turning point is in the future. The turning point will be when Tennessee Valley Authority decides to not have any more nuclear plants built and will decide to phase out the ones that now exist. Blue Ridge Environmental Defense League has been a wonderful way for us to proceed with our chapter. Small community organizations really have trouble keeping on and continuing to go, and BREDL has been so helpful in making that happen, providing us resources, providing us assistance, and doing much of the legal work that has been involved here. One of the things that's slowing nuclear power right now is the vacating of the Waste Confidence Act, which was pulled out by a judge when they discovered that they have no plans for waste, what to do with the waste that exists after you produce the nuclear power. They had always said that there would be, by the time they had to do anything with waste, that there would be, they would know what to do. They would know what the ultimate answer would be to waste once the time came to figure out what to do with it. That has proven not to be true. They still do not know what to do with all the waste that is piling up. And the act that was vacated, or the rule that was vacated about knowing what to do with the waste, has really slowed up the licensing of any new reactors. And BREDL was a key partner in bringing that case to the judge and having the judge make that really good decision. There is now a moratorium on any more licensing of nuclear reactors until NRC, Nuclear Regulatory Commission, figures out what to do and comes up with a new rule about the waste. We are suffering from an ongoing waste legacy in the Tennessee Valley and wherever there's a nuclear plant because nobody knows quite what to do with all the waste.